Hello, folks. We are talking Paperclip today. Welcome to yet another stream. My name is Pete Moriarty. I have with me my good friend and business partner, Scott Gellatly. And today we're going to cover Paperclip, which is an AI agent platform. This is designed for businesses, and it's designed to help you create a fleet of AI agents to help you run your business. Kind of think of them like AI employees. Well, that's the promise anyway. So we're going to be doing a blind trial, and we're going to be taking Paperclip through its paces to see whether or not it lives up to the hype and lives up to the promise. Scott, welcome, my friend. What did you think when you first saw the app and when you first checked out the website?
Yeah, thank you, good sir. I'm pretty excited about this one. As you know, I agonize all day about what the future of work's going to look like, what's an agentic organization going to look like. And I got to say, mate, I opened up the website and I just went, oh, this looks pretty close. So I'm really interested to see if it lives up to at least what its website says and what some of the folks are saying about this tool as well. So, which is quite interesting on its own.
Well, here we are. This is Paperclip. A team of agents for every person is the promise. And you can see here it's got an org chart of your agents. It's got a list here of kind of like all the jobs and tasks that the team are working on. Goal alignment governance, that's interesting. Build your own agents. Okay, well, I guess we can build agents however we want, but it does say it works with everything. So it works with like OpenClaw, Hermes. These are like autonomous, kind of talk to them like they're human type agents. Then you've got Claude and Codex and Gemini. They're your building agents. So yeah, let's see. Heartbeats keep the lights on. That's what the website says. Agents will automatically wake up and do their own work, which is that's like one of the fundamentals of an agent, right? You've got the fundamentals. What are the fundamentals?
The fundamentals are an agent is something that can work on your behalf, right? And a fully autonomous agent is like a team member that is working on your behalf. And to your point, I'm looking through what people are saying here, and they're saying that like if OpenClaw is the agent, Paperclip is the company. If we take that kind of mindset, this is kind of like the container that holds the team, the business itself, which as a CEO, that's super interesting to me.
Okay, well, that's the promise. I set it up, and look, I will say in the 30 odd minutes that I spent with it, I was not super impressed. I was not blown away. But some of these things you just need a bit of help, or you need someone to tell you what's cool about it, or you just need some other perspective. So I'm very interested in this. You've spent a bit more time building like autonomous agents. I've built a lot of agentic workflows with human in the loop. But you've spent a bit more time than me on agents that kind of do things themselves. So I think you're going to bring good context to this. I'm going to be able to drive the tech, or we're going to try and drive the tech together, and then you're hopefully going to drive and help with some of the strategy. And we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens.
Let's
see what happens.
It's worked well for us so far. Have we missed a challenge yet? This is challenge 3.
I don't know. I mean, I think we had one that like was a half point. I think we had one that worked. That's not a bad track record. That's okay. That's not bad. So if you're new to the channel, so the challenge is we have 1 hour, and I'm going to start the timer in just a moment. We have 1 hour to build something useful for small business. If 2 tech experts can't get this app or system or whatever working in 1 hour, then it's probably not very good. So, or maybe we're not very good. That is also a possibility.
Probably, quite possibly more likely, but
could be anyway. But for the purposes of the show and entertainment, we're going to say that the app is no good if we can't make it work in an hour. So I'm going to hit the timer now. I'm going to also put our timer in Google Meet so you can see our time as well. Timer quickly, 59 minutes. Go. And starting now. Okay, great. So here we go. The trial of Paperclip. All right. Sharing window so Scotty can see what I'm
Not
up
to be
to.
confused with Microsoft's Clippy, by the way, which I wonder if this is a bit of a take on that.
Oh God, it might be. I didn't even think of that. It might
I
be.
reckon it is.
Yeah, it probably is. Okay, and there's a new release. All right. Well, how about that? Let's see what's new in the new release, because that's something that is making me a little bit curious. What is in the new release? So breaking changes. Okay, Docker. All right, runs on Docker. Experimental cloud sync is removed. Standard trust agents can write to company visible issues. Archive projects are included from. Okay, nothing really exciting here, to be honest.
Bug fixes.
Yeah, bug fixes. Improvements. Here we go. Multi-project workspace sync on by default. Shared workspace concurrency. Human approved secret proposals. Agent-to-agent governance services. I mean, this looks like it's had quite a bit of development. It's got some some deep stuff that's in there. So anyway, let's log in and have a look. So I got Paperclip here. I'm logged in. I called this app Overlord rather than calling it IT Genius, but maybe let's start a new company. Actually, that's probably a good thing to do. So I'm going to start a new company, and I'm going to call it IT Genius, and then I should be able to share it with you. Oh, okay. So we're gonna actually configure the company. We're gonna give it our mission. Should we give it like the small business, vision and mission? I guess we should. We help small business owners with Google Workspace services, and we aim to help small business play a bigger game by helping them make technology their friend and empowering and enabling them to be in the driver's seat of technology strategy for more business success. There we go. That's a comprehensive version of our mission statement. Okay, so done.
Well, I like that it starts with a goal. That's a big pro for me already. I wonder how it uses that goal though.
Yeah, well, it should theoretically make it the guiding goal for everything that it does. So here, let me hold on. I gotta pin our cameras here somehow. Maybe I'll minimize. Pin me as well. No, there was a way where I could hide my screen, but Google Meet's giving me some trouble today. But that's all right. We're gonna have to just deal with that. Unpin. There we go. And unpin. I don't know why it's putting our cameras down the bottom, but that's all right. Okay, so it says to install your first employee. I think chief of staff is a good idea rather than CEO, because theoretically the chief of staff will build out other agents. So I'm going to say yes to that. It worked well for me before. Connect to model. I'm going to use Claude Code because I've already got Claude Code installed on the box that this is running on. Adapt to environment. I'm going to run a test. Okay.
No Google anti-gravity option on there. Sad face.
No, Scott.
Not
Okay.
really. Not really.
All right. So we're going to say launch. Chief of staff is online and ready to work. So here we go. So this is our dashboard. And I think it creates a couple of out of the box tasks. And one of those tasks is for the chief of staff to do its own onboarding. And it may even spin up some other employee agents as well automatically. So it's automatically getting to work. I think just based on the instructions that I gave it in the mission. But that's basically the only thing that it's been. That's basically the only thing that it's been given. So if I then go, I want to add to the org. I can't remember how I do that, but there should be a way to share this with you, so I can invite you. Here we go. Invite people to IT Genius. Perfect. Okay, cool. So. All right, so I can choose different roles. That's all pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to make you an admin so you can pretty much do everything. Invite test link. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to refresh that link after this stream.
Right now,
yeah.
there are people all around the world saying, I want in on this.
If it even lets me, but anyway. All right, but that's fine. Okay, so there we have it. So you should be able to join that.
Okay, I'm logging in with Google.
And see, it says I'm already up to 3. It says I'm already up to 3 agents here, which yeah, there we go. So it's already started building some others. So I noticed this when I set it up last time. It created a reflection coach automatically and a summarizer automatically. And I think these are just two like out of the box agents that it recommends that you have. And so it created those two. It created those two for me. While you're getting signed in and set up, and the chief of staff is doing its onboarding here, I'm going to tell you my gripes because I got to get them out of the way. So last time when I did this, when I set it up, it set up my main agent, right? So if I go to agents, do I have like an agents menu, dashboard, agents? Okay, cool. So it set up my agents. See all agents. Here we go. And then I wanted to start adding the agents that I use right now. Now, these are both human in the loop agents, but I've got an agent called Jarvis, which does all of our engineering inside the business. Access codes, provisioning accounts, setting up users, deprovisioning users, migrating email data when someone leaves the company, all that kind of stuff. I've then got Sauron is my personal assistant. And so sees everything, right? That's Sauron. And then Watson, I can't remember what it created Watson for. Let me go and have a look what it created Watson for. Being Moriarty, I like Sherlock names. What was Watson's instructions? Oh, this was the scribe. Okay, yeah. So scribe, Watson was, Sherlock's assistant. So Watson was the name of the scribe, would read and report on things. Now, I started giving, theoretically, you should only have to give the chief of staff instructions, and the chief of staff should create sub-agents, delegate things to agents, get and coordinate between them and get things done, right? Which is not that different to what you can do using Claude or Codex or Gemini. It can spin up sub-agents to get things done. They may not all have a distinct, identified and defined identity, but they can be given jobs, right? But these will have a persistent identity, a persistent kind of memory, and a persistent set of documentation for each one of those. But when I gave tasks to the chief of staff here, and I said, hey, give this to Jarvis or give this to Watson or whatever it was, the number one most annoying thing, and my first one was, hey, read this brief. This covers who I am, the project state, and then give me a proposal for setting up this company in Paperclip. That was my first kind of task that I gave the chief of staff. Every time the chief of staff gave me a response, and it's got this really nice menu. It's almost like Asana for agents. You've got priority, you've got due date and stuff probably if you want, who it's assigned to, what project it's a part of. You can be very well organized in the actual setup of this. But what I found was when I gave it a task, it would give me answers back, and I kind of liked how it gave me the answers back. But notice I've got to scroll to the bottom every time. So I would go back to my task. I'd open another task. This is the Sauron agent task, and I'd have to scroll all the way to the bottom to reply. And then I'd go back to my task and I'd open something else, and I'd have to scroll all the way to the bottom. And I just thought, you know what? For something that's supposed to be like easy to use and fast to get around, and it's supposed to be better than just using Claude or just using Codex, like I'm doing a hell of a lot of like manual scrolling here. I know that's a very small thing, but I just felt like, am I missing something obvious? Am I missing something obvious here? Because it was 3 clicks to go between every screen. Whereas if I'm doing 3 things at once with my normal agent, which I generally am, I just have in VS Code, I have 3 columns, or in Claude Code, I can have 3 windows next to each other, and I just flick between them because they always take a minute or 2 or 5 minutes to think about things. I want to have them all sitting up next to each other. And here I'm constantly like clicking, scrolling. So that's my big gripe so far. The other thing is, so far in the basic setup, it's not that different than just talking to Claude. It gives you a choice of 3 things every now and again. It gives you, answers verbatim sometimes, just like Claude does. I mean, it's running Claude in the background. So effectively, this is just a harness that sits over Claude. I've not yet got it to the point where I've seen real, like, exciting orchestration yet, where it's coordinating the sub-agents, or the sub-agents are talking to each other, or there's multiple agents working together for a goal. I can understand. We run a YouTube channel. I could create one agent for the script, and one agent for the thumbnail, and one agent for the packaging and the title. And each of those could do individual work, and they could all be coordinated together nicely. But right now, I can do that with a skill in Claude. And one big skill can do a 5-step process easily. When we run a masterclass for our customers, I have one skill, and it creates the images, it creates the copy, it creates the emails, it drafts the email in my email sender, does all those things. The thing I think that I've not yet set up, and what I think this is designed to do, is I think it's designed to be running autonomously and doing things autonomously on a schedule as an agent, and that is meant to be where the actual value is. So that's where I'm at. Let's see what we can do. Did the invite work for you?
No. I'm being blocked by Cloudflare, though. It's not a Paperclip issue.
Okay. Cloudflare is saying you can't access paperclip.itgenius.com.
It is just saying I'm actually clicking log in with Google. Literally nothing's happening. But if I look at the URL, I get at the very, very end of the URL, access message unauthorized.
All right. So try paperclip.itgenius.com. Try going directly there. I'm going to send. Well, here we go. Let's send JavaSoft to have a look at this, just as a test, because this is the kind of thing that Java should do, right? So new task. Scott is having access problems with Cloudflare access. He's trying to access paperclip.itgenius.com, and he's getting an authorization restricted error. Can you help fix it? And I mean, giving a title is a bit annoying, but anyway, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give it straight to Jarvis. I'm not gonna worry about giving it orchestration and delegation and whatever. So Jarvis gets a task, right? And I think you can set these different views up to have like a Kanban board type thing where you can see all the tasks happening and where you're needed, whatnot. But anyway, I'm gonna open this up. And okay, so we've got activity here, related work. If it's referencing other work, theoretically, it would start to become interconnected as it works with other agents and works across tasks and across projects.
Well, I'd be very curious how you can give it input. So like, I can see that you can give it context. You can add documents. You can obviously, provide it instructions, and that's really, really important. Can you point it to a set of SOPs or a set of, I can see the skills there. So I presume it'll invoke skills or SOPs essentially when it needs them.
Yeah, it'll invoke skills. It has a set of memories, which I can't remember exactly how they work, but a good way to conceptualize them, they're probably going to work pretty similar to what I do like in GitHub, is what we use for all of our agents right now when I'm just using Claude. So if I open up my GitHub and I'll go to, let's go browse and we'll go to engineering, right? Whoopsie. And so if I'm in engineering, which is my Jarvis project, I can go into documentation. And inside the documentation, I've got all of these documents here. This is like all of the markdown files of that agent, everything it needs to do its thing. That's what I would expect the Paperclip will build out bit by bit, is a set of markdown files as memories, artifacts, whatever, reference documents, whatever it decides to call it, and that will become the memory. You can integrate it with memory tools like Mem0. So if you wanted to have like this database of snippets, my understanding is it has a very good integrations library, and you can integrate it with memory tools like that, but you don't have to out of the box. It'll do its own memory itself, basically. Now, this is cool. It looks like Jarvis has been able to access Cloudflare. I was worried it may have like dropped off authorization or whatever, so it looks like it's been able to retain its access at least, so that's good. So that is doing its thing
So, Pete, can I ask, when you added Jarvis in here, this is essentially accessing the Jarvis agent you've built in Claude Code. You didn't recreate Jarvis in Paperclip yourself, did you?
I don't remember how much it pulled in. So I gave it, you can see here, it's got a set of basic instructions. It seems to
What are the
only have one. It seems to only have one file there. I don't know if it is connected to the Jarvis GitHub or not.
Well, I'm curious, what tools does it have access to? For an agent to work on your behalf, it needs a few things, right? If the agent is the worker, the skills are the SOPs, the tools are the hammers and the wrenches for it to actually do things. So for Jarvis to function, it would need tools it need to be connected to MCP servers or APIs like Asana or GCP or Cloudflare's, whatever APIs they've got, so they can actually work on your behalf. That's the first step of an agent.
Yeah, so I can't remember exactly how it was hooked up, but it was either connected to the GCP project via a service account, which will have all of the secrets to access Cloudflare and those kind of things. The box that it's running on is connected to all of my GitHub, so it has access to all the files. But this agent itself, I'm not sure exactly what it's got. Now, it did give me a little see, I get an inbox here, which is kind of like an email inbox, Cloudflare Access. So it's told me, hey, this thing needs your attention. It did give me a pop-up as well. So I'm going to click go. And okay, this is interesting. The reply box is floating here, so that's nice. Scott now has access. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Well, how did it do that? If it didn't have access to a tool, what did it actually do?
Well, either the box or its connection to GitHub, I don't know which one of the two, had access to Cloudflare, so it was able to execute that.
Well, I'm setting up my profile right now.
Okay, there we go. Well, hey, sometimes I'm surprised, but I got this done. The thing I like the most about this, maybe just because the conversation was short, it's replied there. Well, let me ask it. Hey Jarvis, how did you access that? Did you use a service account on the box that you're installed on, or do you actually have the Jarvis agent engineering GitHub project synchronized to your brain and all the appropriate documents for that? Let's see. Oh, did you mean Jarvis? Plain text won't notify or assign an agent. That's interesting. Okay, so it's warned me, hey, looks like you've mentioned the agent. You actually need to mention it by name, which, I mean, that's a bit annoying. Like when I'm talking to Claude and I'm dictating and I say, hey, Jarvis, like it knows I'm talking to it because it just picks up on things that I say in text. So yeah, a little bit annoying. But while this is churning away, one of the things that this does is it integrates with a lot of apps. I mentioned that earlier. And this will integrate with OpenClaw, or it will integrate with Hermes agent. And when you integrate with those different apps, let me see if I can find a marketplace of some sort. I don't know where that's going to be. But when you integrate, here we go, built-in adapters. I don't know exactly where that is. You can use a different interface to talk to it. So if you just want to talk to like one agent, and that one agent just talks to maybe the chief of staff of your agent swarm here, then that is an option as well. So if you want to just talk via WhatsApp to your OpenClaw assistant, that assistant could delegate stuff to your staffing team here. My understanding is this framework and this harness is all about setting up your staffing team.
Well, I'm in and I'm having a look around. And you mentioned earlier, like, okay, well, what's the point of this versus just, say, using Claude code, right? I can absolutely see there's a governance layer here that a business needs to function. I often talk about Claude code as being God mode, right? And for an individual contributor with access to all the tools that maybe they need to do their job and a great skills library, they can kind of do anything they want, from building a website to an app, solving a ticket, sending emails, whatever, right? But it's typically ungoverned and it's in a closed environment that only they have access to. This, to me, looks like a collaborative environment, one where I can invite team members in to work on agents and get work done together. But it has this like overall kind of governance model, which I also see in Gemini Enterprise, where you can request agents, you're kind of locking down and standardizing the work and the tools that the humans might actually be using to get stuff done.
That I like, because that approach is needed. Like you and an agent is easy. If you've got 30 people, how do you manage agents? How do they not conflict with each other? How do they share with each other? How do they generate common knowledge? All of these are problems that we need to work out. Now, I am a little bit concerned that immediately we've had some errors showing up here. So one failed assignment. It's saying ACP session creation timed out before session new created. Okay. Well, I'm just going to hit retry. The same thing happened when I set it up the first time, and I just hit retry, and then it eventually worked. But a little disconcerting that things break the first time.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to build a CFO agent. You know how much I love numbers and spreadsheets, so that's probably an obvious place for me to start. It's asked me who does it report to, and I've immediately said, well, it reports to the chief of staff, which it says is the CEO. So it preordains the chief of staff as the top point.
Got it.
I'm really curious that you can set a trust preset right from the beginning. So how much can this thing do on its own without human in the loop? That's pretty interesting. I can do a low trust or a standard. I can choose Gemini CLI, so I'm going to give that a crack. And realistically, it shouldn't matter what model sits in the middle to get stuff done. But I want to know how it's actually going to connect to Gemini. Did we have to enter a credit card into Paperclip so that it can bill an account based on token usage? Or is it using your Claude account or my Gemini account to do that? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm assuming we can like punch in API keys here somewhere, or generally with these agents, it's cheaper if it uses the actual harness, because some of them have harness credits if you install the harness on the local machine. So I've got Claude installed. I think I may have Codex installed. I'm not sure. Gemini probably not. But we may be able to get access to cheaper credits. I don't even know if Gemini has a credits system if you install it. But anyway, it's given me a plan here, and I don't know if you can see that plan. I mean, you're an admin, so you can probably see everything the chief of staff sees. It's set a plan here. Let me see. Where's instructions? Is it?
I can see on the dashboard that the chief of staff is currently live and executing on a function.
Okay. So
okay.
It's got a plan here, which is hire your first engineer and create a hiring plan. So it's created a hiring plan, and it's got on its hiring plan a growth marketer, an engineer. Let me open the hiring plan here. So a founding engineer, support/customer success, Google Workspace support specialist. Oh, that's okay. That's cool. So pick that up, and then growth marketer. So I mean, these are interesting. I guess like we've got 35 minutes to build something useful. So like, what do we think we could build? What do we think we could build from here? I mean, a CFO would be good. It is going to be looking at live data though, so that might potentially be a concern considering we're on stream. But we could certainly give it access to any APIs that we already have access to in our GCP. So I think analysis would probably be okay if you want to go down the CFO route. But we should be thinking like, what kind of thing do we want this to build? I would love to see it do daily work, like do something autonomously for me, because I can run skills. I can sit there and instruct Claude to do anything. If this can do something for me automatically, every day, and then, I don't know, send me a message on WhatsApp or Google Chat or something like that. That would be nice, but it still doesn't impress me that much because I can still get that done in Claude.
Well, hey, let's think about how does an actual team function, right? And let's model it on that. So, I mean, a CFO function, I'm sitting here in the old point of view going, oh, well, I might use this CFO agent to solve a problem, do some analysis for me. But how would a CFO actually act? A CFO would go, okay, well, I need to go absorb your business strategy. I need to go work out how to, achieve your goals. And then I'm going to go instruct your accountant and so forth to go and do things. How would a support agent work? Well, they need to take an input. A ticket needs to arrive. That could just be an email. If we were going to do something simple, we could just have an account. We've got some test accounts and things, and we could just send some emails to that, pretend that we've got an IT problem.
All right, I'm down for that. If it can watch for intercom tickets and if it watch for intercom tickets and help resolve issues there, okay, that I'm down for. All right, chief of
I reckon
staff.
that's the easiest thing. That's a team member, right? Because all of us, we're all like walking sensory platforms with LLMs, right? That's all. I can say that's all humans are, but that would be a little bit dystopian. But ultimately, these agents are looking for inputs, and they become autonomous when the inputs, it's just monitoring and waiting for the inputs to come in. I reckon the big test of this, Pete, is it spins up. If we've got a worker, a help desk agent, that it keeps spinning up agents for every ticket that comes in. And if we throw 5 tickets in at once, 5 agents spawn and start delivering tickets and emailing back. And let's just see if we can get there.
Let's see if we can get there. All right, I've told it to set up the support agent as fast as you can. Let's go in that direction. So I guess we're gonna have to get it connected to Intercom, so it can actually read through tickets. But I'm assuming that's just going to be built straight into the agent. So I think we just need to give the agent instructions, which after it creates the agent, I guess we'll be able to tune its instructions and start building out the agent's memory. And then we'll need to get the agent connected to Intercom so it can go and read tickets, and we'll tell it what domain to read the tickets from. And then from there, then from there, it needs to be able to read and respond to the tickets semi-autonomously, I guess. Okay, so maybe I should go and maybe I should go and send some dummy tickets to the team.
Yeah, I'm thinking I could just go send some tickets right now. If do you want to hook it up to Intercom, or do you just hook it up to a mailbox somewhere, like a test mailbox that we've got, so that we can just send emails to that mailbox and have them action? That might be faster.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, that we could potentially try that. I don't even know if it's got a Gmail connector, and I know we've got Intercom connected via API. So look, let's see on that one.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, let's see. Maybe we'll wait on those dummy tickets, but I'm going to start creating them as drafts. So I need to set up a signature. All right. Help me set up my Gmail signature. I don't know how to do it. Can you please give me instructions? All right, so that's going to be one. And then another one's going to be delegate mailbox setup. So I'm going to ask it like some Google Workspace specific stuff and see how good it is. See how good it is with that. And if you've ever worked with our team, if you want best practice for Google Workspace, you head to itgenius.com, and our team really know that stuff. So I want to know what the options are for sharing a Google Workspace mailbox across multiple people on my team. You know what? And I'm just going to say shared mailbox. I'm not going to give it the answer because delegate mailbox is the best practice to share it securely, or groups, of course, but we'll see what it says. And then, cool. I want to add a new user to my Google Workspace. Their name is Bob Jones, and it should be bob@testgenius.co. I'm also curious, can it, new user, can it work out, connecting to our API and doing this, doing this via the API? Anyway, all right, so we're back here. Chief of staff failed after 1 minute. Oh boy, that's not good. That's not
I
good.
think this is the challenge, right? Is this it's not quite consistent enough, and we keep running into these errors. And if you're a small business owner that's trying to pick this up from the beginning and just make it happen, you can't really you can't afford this kind of problem.
Well, yeah, and I don't think it's anything necessarily to do with the environment. It could be because Google Cloud is pretty secure. But this is interesting that, like, I open the problem. I click the thumbnail, I open the problem, and it shows me the task, right? And then it shows me, the oldest message, and I've got to scroll all the way down to the bottom to see what it's actually asking me. That's just such a bizarre UI choice. So anyone from Paperclip watching this, like, what's going on, guys? Like, is there a button I can toggle and make the new responses come to the top, or do I need to like edit your interface myself? Anyway, okay, so verified green locally, satisfied CEO can see repository and CI. Whoa. The fuck is this? Okay. I don't know what's going on here.
While you're doing that, I am going to work on my little CFO agent as a backup. I think you've got that covered. I created an agent, and my expectation was that it would craft an instruction set, aligned with the role that I gave it and so forth. But it really did something quite generic. So I'm going to have to copy paste my own agent instructions in for this particular thing.
Well, the errors that mine got was it was trying to interact with GitHub, and I don't know exactly like what project this is connected to, where it lives. So I've just told it to keep everything local for now. So yeah, I'm not even sure why it's trying to push. I mean, it might have been trying to push documentation or something. I mean, I'm a little bit worried, Scott. It's 27 minutes to go.
Yeah,
we made time out of this one. I just want something to happen. Okay, we're still recruiting. Let's see how it goes.
This recruiting idea is also really interesting, right? Because this is about creating an agent organization, again, without you necessarily needing to go and define all your agents, which is a bit of a skill in its own. How many small business owners have you met that kind of know, I know what an agent is, I know what agents I should have in my organization. This is kind of taking that up and saying, well, look, we're going to go hire your agentic team. It's a cool concept. Maybe the execution's not quite there yet.
What I like about this is it shows you what an agent is. An agent is doing tasks. It's got a schedule. It's got a routine. It's got, like artifacts, which is data memories, stuff that it starts to build and accumulate over time. It's got skills. So that gives someone a concept of what an agent is if you haven't been able to conceptualize that before. So again,
I want to start again with my CFO and use this hiring tool instead. How did you actually get there? Did you just go to the chief of staff and say, I want to hire a CFO? Maybe that's what I should do.
Yeah, that's theoretically what you would do.
Okay, well, let's try it. I'll go to tasks, new task, hire CFO. I've got to move my mic out of the way here. Hopefully this sounds okay.
Yeah.
I won't voice to text it in because I know you're doing things at the same time here.
Well, I'm still having trouble with this error. I wonder if I can hit a button and go for a update. Concerned that might break things, but actually going to ask my real Claude to see if it can check. Activate Java's context, and can you check my Paperclip setup on the... Oh, it just did, something didn't update. That's interesting. Well, I can see Scott created a task. Something's happening. All right. You know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and create a fresh agent myself. How about that? All agents, new agent. Ask
This
a
is
leader
the process
to
I've gone through, and it created a very generic agent.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes. I've now gone back to create a task for the chief of staff to say, hey, I need you to go hire someone because what I created doesn't really work.
I tell you what, I mean, this thing automatically decided that it should find common how-to articles for common workspace questions. Like this thing's acting pretty smart. I like how it's been prompted. Workspace health check audit tool. I mean, where did it even find this stuff? So, workspace agent provisioning. Resolve. Try again.
The founding engineer has been invoked and is currently live. Is that you, or is
that's probably me, I guess. I'm not sure. I mean, it's apparently still trying to build stuff.
You know, you and I have talked a lot about like what does the future of work look like, and it probably looks more like a Slack or a chat style environment where you're invoking agents to do things. You're holding all of the goals that you set for that, the tasks, and your collaboration with maybe a few humans and a few agents is being constantly captured into memory. I can kind of see that here in a way. Maybe the execution's not quite right yet. But you know what I think the biggest challenge here is not actually setting this thing up. It's changing your whole idea of how to work.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to know, like, for anyone who's watching the stream. Oh yeah, there we go. We've got my dad on stream. Well, that's always great. Nice to see you, Dad. Saying innovative content, guys. Well, that's awesome. Thank you very much. Good to have you here. For anyone who's on stream, yeah, I want to know, like, is your mind bending with this, like creating virtual employees in a virtual workspace? That's definitely a bit of a mind bender for me. I mean, theoretically, this is meant to mimic what already happens in a company. You create documentation, you create intellectual property, you have a bunch of people, agents, talking to each other, interacting with each other. You've got tasks and initiatives and projects and goals. This is the agent representation of that. This I like. Okay.
Well, you know, like, how would I normally work with a team member? Well, I would have a project. I'd have some goals and a scope for that project. I would set it up in Asana, and I would wait, usually days, for comments to come through of the work that's being done, and maybe asking any questions, decisions. Maybe some emails get sent to a partner or a spreadsheet gets built. I'm kind of looking at my agent thread here, and I'm seeing comments being created, skills being generated. Someone's working in the background. It's taking seconds, though, not days. And that's the very curious thing.
Well, I'm still yet to see. I mean, as my chief of staff was tasked to hire someone, my response was, Start with just the support agent, please, as fast as you can. And it's continued hiring and building out the engineering agent. So that's definitely concerning for me. So yeah. Do I ask it? Do I ask it again? Do I create a separate task for it? Like, I think it might just time
I'm
out.
trying to see what is it actually doing on the founding engineer right now. So it says it's running, and it keeps getting a Claude ACP session timeout. I don't know what that means.
I think it's got past that, because I can see it like building out. It's provisioning the engineer now, which is what I told it not to do, but it's decided to kind of keep doing that. Maybe
So
it
it's like
believes it's a prerequisite.
It's exactly like having staff then.
So it's going to create a workspace health check.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I don't remember giving it any of this. Like, I wonder, I mean, maybe I guess I can ask the chief of staff, like, do I just ask it a general question, or do I have to give it a task? I guess I have to assign a task, like, hey, I'd like to know your rationale for all the things that you're building at the moment. I asked you to set up a support rep, and I can see you're building out an engineer, and also I can see you're building out a workspace health check, and you're looking to build out the knowledge base. Are these things that you decided to do yourself, or did you find that information in documentation somewhere?
Which is precisely what you would ask your chief of staff if they were going off and doing things that you'd expect.
Hey,
right?
what the fuck? WTF?
Hey.
All right.
Well, I wonder how it learns, right? Does it generate memories out of this experience and store them, and then go, okay, well, now I know for next time? I'm very curious.
Theoretically, yeah, it would scan any previous conversations, it would scan any previous tasks or projects, and have that in context as it's working on and as it's doing things. So, do I need to go back to dashboard view or task view? Okay, so very Claude here. I'll ground my answer in what's actually on the board rather than guessing. Let me look at the issues. So it's going to go through, and it's going to look at everything. Very Claude.
Don't you love that all of these LLMs have their own personality? You can tell a Claude email straight away. There's like 5 clear signals that you're talking to Claude. And I know when I'm talking to Gemini, because it's like what's the word, like a yes man, like someone who's just absolutely in love with you and nothing you say.
A sycophant.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. All right, just re-authenticate my Google for the 10th time today. All right, well, WTF task. It is a bit slow. It would be nice. It would be nice if I could make it a bit faster. I assume choosing the model would let us do that.
That was my immediate thought. My CFO agent, I chose a model. I chose Gemini, and it had the Gemini CLI. I have at no point given it access to our GCP cloud account or anything like that. So I wonder if it's got a bit like Google's agent platform. It's actually just got access to a bunch of models, and you pay for those models, and that's what setting the budget is and the token dollars and all of that.
Yeah.
As the feature. And again, hey, if you want to be model agnostic, if you don't want to be tied to a particular ecosystem, you just want output, it shouldn't really matter, and you're just paying Paperclip for use of the token or use of the model, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been going for a while on my CFO agent. It's doing a lot of thinking, not a lot of doing, which is, in fairness, quite what a CFO agent sort of a lot of thinking, not a lot of doing.
Well, yeah, even my WTF question, it is moving slowly. And look, I don't mind that these move slowly if they really think about it and then they're correct. And it's possible that it's put it on the highest thinking mode. I'm having a look here because I have some observability of my Claude agents. I can see a lot of agents running. I cannot see what model they're using right now, so I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know what model it is actually using, but I don't know. Okay, that's probably in settings somewhere, I guess.
Well, I defined it when I built the model. When I built the agent. It defined what you got to pick. Do you want to use Codex, Gemini, whatever, and then do you want to default to a particular model? So I don't see it while it's actually running a process, but I did see it in the definition.
Claude Sonnet 4.6. There we go. So cheap. Oh, no, that's the cheap model. So that's when it requests a cheap model. Use that. Does it have like a standard model that it uses? I don't know.
Oh, I have a document, a CFO hiring plan.
Okay, that's
okay. It's taken a while.
That's a start.
It says what I need from you. Reply here or in the approval card. A financial model, access level, a monthly budget, what model to use. Okay, well, I can do that. Approve the build out. The CFO agent already exists because I did try to create it, but it was never built out. I've drafted a full CFO. Oh, where'd that just go? CFO persona and everything that doesn't need board rights. Approving greenlights me to create a founding engineer task to provision the least privileged Google Sheets access and more. Okay, well, look, I'm just going to approve that. To your point, the way that it presents information on the screen is extremely verbose.
Yes.
And it's just pages and pages of text going down the screen, and it sort of all pops up at once, and then you got to scroll to the bottom. And
I know what it's running. It's running Opus 5 then, because that really does that.
It really is writing an Opus. There's a bit down the bottom that I actually need to know, and then the rest of it is just kind of guff. But hey, look, I'll approve this, and presumably it's going to then ask me for my financial model. What is the job of a CFO in a agentic organization if you've already got a financial model, though? I mean, what am I going to get this thing to do? Build out a finance team and then connect it to Xero to do the end of months, I suppose.
Well, it could be reviewing tax returns. It could be checking ratios and reporting to you. That's all useful stuff. I mean, we've got 11 minutes to go, and this is still not following my instructions. I mean, it has sound reasoning to do the engineer setup first before it then goes and sets up the support specialist. I told it to do both in parallel because it gave me that option. But it's not not gone anywhere just yet.
To Buzz, which has actually got which is Jack Dorsey's open source agent collaboration platform. A lot of similarities, right? But I would say this is actually a little more sophisticated. Yeah. You know what I think we need, Pete? We need a stamp. Succeeded, has promise. It's I was going to say it's a dog, but I like
it's a
dogs.
fail. Yeah. Okay, so it is 1 month behind on updates. I could attempt to update it, but that might break it. So I'm a little worried about doing that.
I can see what they're trying to do here, though, and you know, you and I were only talking this morning about like what does that future of IT Genius or of any business really look like, an agentic organization, and if each of these things are workers and it's defining and able to build out its own team of workers, if I can have this CFO send emails to get international entities set up or connect to Xero and instruct a senior accountant to do the bookkeeping and develop all the rules, and I'm prompting that into existence, well, that's a compelling idea.
Yeah.
Like everything, though, execution is king, and maybe that's not quite there yet.
Show the app's navigation and allow access to app connections, gateways, and advanced app tooling. Okay. So I'm going to switch on apps. Browse apps. Ah, here we go. Okay. So GitHub coming soon. All right. So these are going to be like your one-click connections to your own apps, your MCPs.
Connected MCP.
Connect to Google. All right. Well, now I kind of want to let this fail and then run the update and then see if we can actually do anything. All right.
Did you see the bottom piece though? Connected MCP, so you could hook it up to Xero or Stripe or whatever, right?
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to run out of patience. Okay. Provision least privileged Google Sheet access for CFO agent. Okay. So that's
me
doing its thing. This definitely has access to, by the way, is it asking you for credentials, or is it just going to use the administrator account that it already has? Because it already has access to our Workspace account via this box, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Well, it seems that I'm on this. There's this hire CFO task. I think it's created a subtask, which is provision the least privileged Google Sheets access for the CFO agent.
That's given that. It's given that to the engineer. Isn't that interesting? So anything engineering related it's giving to the engineer.
Well, again, we go back to the kind of discussions we've had, Pete. Like, how do you build a company?
You have a set of different specialists. You have a set of different specialist skills, right? Yeah.
You go and you put your forward deploy engineer in and say, recreate this entire workflow and re-engineer it as an agent. And that's sort of the philosophy that's playing out here. Honestly, I'm thinking going, hang on, with our finance team, as an example, I've crafted a CFO. I'm going to have it go and craft an accountant with the expertise in Australian law and US law and the places that we transact. I'm going to connect it to Stripe and to Xero, our billing platforms and our P&L. And I think I just need to give it a set of rules on coding, or have it craft a set of rules on coding. I don't see any reason why this thing can't essentially just do that for me.
Yeah. So
a whole lot of accountants and finance team, treasury team members are squirming in their seats going,
so I've got all these tasks sitting in my inbox. They say mine. Can I if I hit archive, okay, so some of these archive stuff is kind of like, it disappears. It doesn't go to archive, it just disappears. But I'm wondering, what happens after I archive something? Do they come back? Do they keep working on them in the background? Does archive stop things working? I have so many questions.
Well, I'm now being asked to upload my financial model. Which is terrifying, but I'll tell you what.
Do it.
Let's humor it.
Chief of Staff errored. Hire first engineer, create a hiring plan. Okay, another
Oh, I can't
ACP
upload sheets. So that ain't going to work. It doesn't like... Oh, well, maybe I could just give it the URL. Okay.
All right, if I get one more error, I'm going to stop it and run the update. But
I'm getting progress here.
Well, that's good.
I don't know, maybe it's just you. I don't know, just saying. Financial model. So it's given me 4 questions. This is interesting. I'm just going to share my screen. I just want to show you like where it has got to. So we had the hire a CFO task. It created the hiring plan, which essentially defined the agent's, defined the agent definition, with some appendixes of what the MD file would look like. And then said, okay, well, let's go build that agent out. I need you to give me these 4 things. And it's positioned these as an input here. 4 answers to activate your CFO. Paste the ID link in the box. Maybe that's down here. Access level for the CFO on that sheet. Well, read only, fine. Monthly budget cap in US dollars. We'll just give it $50 a month. Which model should it run on? We'll use your Claude box, I presume. I'm not sure how that works. I'm sort of expecting that I need to go and paste. Oh, maybe that's what it's looking for, like that. Nice. Okay, submit answers.
Great.
I'll take this out of here. Like, it's doing something.
Yeah.
Just get rid of that. It's got this subtask that's been created as well. Provision the least.
Oh, which I guess is probably maybe dependent on yours. Yeah, it is. Or related tasks. Yeah.
Yeah. It's now doing that. And this is in the hands of the founding engineer who is engineering the workflow in the business here.
Well, I'm glad it's working for you, because I'm highly frustrated here that it couldn't deploy one agent in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, Jarvis did one Cloudflare task for me, but nothing that Claude wouldn't have done already. Workspace provisioning MVP. It built a workspace provisioning MVP? What the confirmation requested probe. No, I don't want you to probe it. I don't want you to probe anything. Let's pause this and we can come back to it another time. And I want to keep moving so we can set up our next agent. This workspace health check audit tool. Yeah, I'm handing that off for a review. What's this? Unified client status view over IT Genius data.
Okay, I have replied to your questions. What do you need next?
Well, what I'm focusing on right now is I'm trying to just triage its work. But I can see, to be fair, that this is doing the kind of thing that a CEO of a Google Workspace organization would be doing. It's looking for the current status of all of our customers. It's trying to build up its knowledge base of Google Workspace stuff. That's what a CEO of a Google Workspace company should be doing on its first day. So that I get, but it's just not what I asked.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to build something. You know what I'm observing here, Pete, is that we wanted to build something at the front line straight away, and it's trying to build the organization top down.
Yeah.
So it's
Which
an interesting
arguably
idea,
is the right thing to do.
arguably.
Okay, so all right, that's an hour. This is this like is this showing promise? I'm going to reserve my judgment till I run an update and see if it's still spewing errors out at me, because I'm getting more errors than progress at the moment.
Yeah, I'm getting errors now too.
Okay, right. I'm running an update. You ready? I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I saw it.
The Claude ACP session creation timed out. So it seems to be. I think what I'm sort of struggling with is how is it doing things, and it just must be using your Claude instance.
Yeah, that box basically has admin access to pretty much everything. So it's got my orchestrator project, and under my orchestrator project, it also has the Jarvis project and the connections to the GCP applications for both of those have access to pretty much everything in our business. So if it's doing stuff inside our Google Drive, it'll be using the administrator override. So it'll either be acting as me as the super admin, or Jarvis also has access to a super admin authentication. So
But that's a lot of assumptions. I can't see what it's doing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm sort of struggling with here. It's like it's saying, okay, let's go build an agent. Jarvis was able to do something, and it's not clear to me how it was able to do that or how it really works. And that's maybe not a fault of the system or so much as it just my knowledge of how this thing's supposed to function.
Yeah. We don't want a snapshot before the backup, but we don't want a snapshot backup before the update, do we? Nah, let's just roll with it.
I think burn it all down and start again, as far as I'm concerned.
Let's live wild.
If you were going to take this approach, right, and build a business out of here from scratch, maybe the first thing you would do is just give it our business plan.
Yeah, that would be a very smart thing to do. Yes.
I've hit a dead end with the CFO. It says it is failing and it just doesn't seem to be going any
I would recommend
further.
you pause, because it's literally going down for the update now. So
I don't even know how to pause it. It's just,
it's going to do its thing. All right.
yeah, I think it's just sitting there doing something. I mean, have a look here.
Okay, so we're gonna say maybe, and if you feel like sticking around on the stream, we're gonna see if that's a maybe that becomes a yes, you should try it, or a maybe that's a no.
I have a good feeling about this one, even though our experience is not quite right. It does link to what my own perception of building out an agentic org would truly look like from the ground up. Oh, I think I might just have to take the rest of the week off. And I wonder, like, okay, this is how Paperclip are doing it. We've been playing with Gemini Enterprise. It's kind of got this agent builder, but it's not crafting agents like this is, and it's not autonomous, or they can't be made autonomous by a long margin yet. And it's not in a chat or any kind of collaborative environment. In Gemini Enterprise, you build an agent and you are isolated. You are working alone with that agent. There's no collaboration with a team of humans or other agents in parallel. So these guys are kind of ahead of the game in that sense as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's died. So the update must be well and truly in. In play now.
My dad has responded and said, this is just like learning how to network back in the day. That's right. So it was the year 2000. I was 11. And yeah, we had these old junker Pentium 1 computers, and we wanted to get some games and stuff running on them. And we had to, because I had two other brothers, we had to network them together, but it was point to point. We didn't have a switch or a router or anything like that. Dial-up days. So there was no network modem that you would have on your network to distribute to multiple computers. Like one computer would dial up to the internet, and that was it. So if you had two computers to play games on, you had to manually assign each of them IP addresses and then plug them into each other directly. But you had to use a crossover cable, which had special wiring in the network cable, which we were wiring by hand and putting the termination ends on by hand to make that work. Because the ports didn't auto-negotiate and everything else. Okay. Apparently, we might be back up. Your agent survived. Yay!
Yay! Great.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give this a refresh just for the fun of it. I don't know what may have changed in the actual interface, but oh boy, this is loading slowly. Okay, health status is okay. Well, that's good. See if the interface changed. I can see some small things. All right, I have a nice big retry button. I'm going to hit that retry button. See what happens there. I mean, you know what I like about this, Scott? You know what I really like about this? Mm-hmm. This is the first collaborative workspace for agents that I've seen.
That works in some degree.
That works in some degree. I mean, unless you're talking about like Slack that just happens to have Claude in there. Or, like we tried Buzz the other week, and that was just very early stages. Could understand the concept. It was a similar concept, but it was just very early stages. Like when you're in Gemini, and we tested this week, even in Gemini Enterprise, you can have a chat with Gemini, and then you can share that chat to someone else, and they get a copy of the chat, which they can then continue. But you're not collaborating on a chat. And I'm pretty sure by now that if you're on a team plan with OpenAI, you can use ChatGPT and multiple people can chat to an agent in one place. I think you can do that with Claude as well. Not that I've ever tried that, because we're mostly using Claude Code to build stuff. So this is just the first, it's like, okay, I can start to see how this works. Like I can see Scott's working on something with his CFO. Pete's got his tasks here. Like if I created a new task, here's the interesting thing. I can actually assign it to Scott. So yeah. I can say, make a legal agent. I can assign that to you, maybe make it part of the onboarding. Can you please set this up while I focus on growth tasks? Right? So I'd give that to you, and it's, here we go. It's a to-do. Agent mode, okay. Start date, due date, okay. Create task. So I can give that task to Scott. And this is like the most bare bones version of Asana or ClickUp or whatever. That's because right. Now we've got tasks.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about this the other day. Like, what is the future of, say, an Asana when really work is being done by AI agents that you're just chatting to? All of the work that you're doing is automatically saved into documents or into memory. We use Asana like a system of record, almost like a wiki, more than task management sometimes. this kind of does that, and the agents are already programmed into it.
Yeah, and we've been talking about like, and I still haven't seen these, right? Like Asana's coming from the other direction. They started as a task management app, and now they're trying to bring agents in.
Into it.
I'd be very interested to see how this works, because theoretically this would be, ideal for us, like some agents starting to appear and starting to do stuff in Asana. But is that any different to just like a gem? Like a set of deterministic instructions, like creative spec writer, like, great, I'm going to give you some stuff and it's going to give me this one thing back. Like, this is what we want. What we want is agents talking to each other, a swarm of like delegation. All the agents have context and knowledge of the goal. All the agents have memory that is shared. And theoretically, if there's an agent in Asana, I would expect it to use all of Asana as a knowledge base. Like, that would be good, because pretty much all of our data is in Asana right now. But you know what it doesn't have? It doesn't have an MCP to talk to our meetings database. Doesn't have an MCP to talk to our financial system. Like, do the Asana agents have that? I don't know.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Peter. If it doesn't have tools, or they're not good, because ultimately for these agents to function, they need inputs.
Yeah.
They need inputs. They need to be looking at intercom tickets that are coming in, or emails that are coming in. Or if it's simply waiting for a human to task it out, and then it just offloads a bit of cognitive processing and maybe saves a bit of time, that's not the grand vision of where this goes.
Yeah.
That's just a productivity tool.
Yeah. Okay,
I have a feeling that if we come back to Paperclip, start fresh and say, all right, here's the business model, go and hire the team, go and build, create a CFO agent. We're not going to give the CFO agent the business, the economic model. We want it to go create it based on our business plan.
Yeah.
And then we want it to go and connect to Xero and start managing actuals via its forecast. And we just want to instruct it to do all of this. And my expectation is this thing would build out a finance team.
Yeah.
That would just be watching transactions come through from Stripe, reconciling them in Xero via the MCP, producing the report to the CFO, providing guidance to us on spend, updating the model. And that is a loop, right? A big loop with a bunch of little loops inside it that we could use this to build.
Yeah.
And once we've done it for that, well, you could easily do it for help desk and for project delivery and all those other things, right? I guess, I sit here and go, well, you could do that in Paperclip. Is this where Gemini Enterprise is going to get to? Is this where Claude wants to get to, or Anthropic? The number one question I keep getting asked from small business owners up to CEOs of mid-market is like, which tool should I use?
Yeah.
It's so hard. There are so many options, and the ideas of how work itself happens is changing.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, I give this promise. I really do. I can kind of see what they're trying to do here. It might not be functioning yet, but I also think that if I used it a bit differently, I could probably get there.
Yeah.
In fact, that is a challenge I'm willing to take.
Well, I'm very curious to give it more time. I can see that it's going to take more time to do it. I've switched on the heartbeat for this, which I guess means that it's gonna wake up and do stuff. Monthly budget. Okay, well, we should probably set a budget for each one of these. And I think it may still be being built out.
That monthly budget you just set.
Yeah.
I set one for CFO as well. Do you think that maybe that's actually connecting, because it's based on your Claude code, and that's connected to your Claude account, which has spend limits? Do you think it's integrating the budget back to that and saying don't use more than $100 US in Claude tokens? Because you haven't entered a credit card in here, have you?
No, and that is a good question. Like, I am curious to know, how much might it be using up? I'm looking at my overall usage for the week in my Claude account, and it's not very much at all. It's used like 6% of my weekly limit so far, so it doesn't seem to be chewing through it. It did say somewhere that it's used 10 million tokens. I did notice that. So that's like 10 large, 10 long Claude conversations. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to be able to actually know for sure, if it's just going to like guess the actual token usage when we go to costs. Like, it's basically saying 0 right now. I mean, it's saying 21 million providers.
No spend.
Anthropic. Here we go. Subscription. So it's used this all via my subscription. So that's pretty good. But yeah, no costs associated to that. Claude is logged in via Claude AI Max. Quota polled failing. For whatever reason, there's an error there. Okay, so it wasn't really able to find information on that all that well, but that's okay. We'll let it kind of tick away, do its thing. Apps here, I'm surprised that they haven't like launched many more of these.
It is early days though.
I would have thought it would have some one button things. Okay, you can use like some CLI type tools. There's connections. You can import an MCP gateway, so that's good. I mean, from memory, I thought there was some one button connections. Well, this is interesting, a work timeline. I mean, this is all the kind of stuff we love to see for our team, right? Which is pretty cool. You're going to be able to see. Here we go. Let's show me just today.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's getting pretty interesting, There we go.
Well, I mean, we track activity with our team, and this is essentially the activity register, right?
Yeah. All right, I got some things in my inbox. Here we go. The WTF came back. Now again, long chat. Oh, here we go. Oh, we've got a button here. Jump to latest. Okay, so at least I've got a jump to latest button. Yeah.
Maybe they're listening and they've just pushed the update.
Okay, your answer landed and it's been acted on. Okay. Here we go. We're getting some verbatim junk. Like, just okay. Hold on. I don't know if you saw that trick on Twitter, but can you give me the ISO technical language link so I can give it to my agent, please? There's a technical language standard. Is it ISO? No. Standard. I believe it's the one that UK Gov uses, and it was mentioned in a tweet recently. I shared this with one of the team on this. No, that's not what I wanted. All right, but it's basically there's a simplified technical language that you can use. Found it, and this tweet here, which is fantastic for anyone on stream who wants to go and find it. Oh, there we go. ASD STE simplified technical English. So it basically theoretically should help you to reduce slop. So it instead of giving you this big long thing of junk, it will give you. It's asking me to bloody log into Twitter. It'll give you a simplified set of a simplified response. So let me try putting this in. Your answers are pretty verbatim here. Could you please update your brain to use this language instead? All right, and remember, the most important thing here is, to be the laziest version of yourself. Just use simple language for it, and it should theoretically pick that up. Now, this is saying it's queued I updated this task. I moved it into to do. Now this is interesting. I'm wondering why it's not picking this up immediately, because it's saying it's queued. Is it waiting on
this
something?
goes back to what I asked earlier. Can it actually run a whole bunch of things concurrently, or is it still quite sequential? And I can see the founding engineer seems to be doing two things in parallel. So that kind of answers that. I think my CFO agent's just hitting a wall because I've got to authorize with the Google Cloud CLI. But I know we're approaching time. So I won't go any further. We'll wrap it up.
So did you assign this from yourself to the chief of staff to set up the legal agent?
No, I didn't do that.
Oh. Because the chief of staff took it off you.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, maybe it looked at it and decided that it could do it. That's pretty funny. Can I open this? Okay, here we go. Wait.
That seems unrelated.
That seems unrelated. Chief of staff. I mean, it just woke up and basically decided. It woke up and decided that it was going to do it.
I would love all of my staff to just operate like, how do I fire this chief of staff?
For Peter Moriarty, authorized by allow company agent, chief of staff made chief of staff responsible for the task.
What's that scene in The Matrix when they go down into Zion and it's like, here are the robots that keep us alive. We don't know how they work. We don't know how they got there, but we know we couldn't survive without them. That's how I feel right now. Chief of staff just taking things on and getting it done. You're hired.
Now, the odd thing here is, and I'm assuming it doesn't spin up a million things at once because it's worked out the resources available on the box and it's decided, it's going to try not to completely overwhelm it. But like I've got stuff in my inbox here that doesn't actually need me, but it does have a little dot there. Is that just because things are, being like updated and I don't know, maybe it'll turn red or something if it really needs me. Okay, well this one does need me, which is a bit confusing because some of the stuff in my inbox, I find it does need me, but I
think this is a bigger problem. I'm finding that it's unclear where it requires my input.
Yeah.
When it's asked for my input, it didn't actually get clarity that I had inputted it. I had to prompt it over and over again. And it's so verbose that I'm not even sure necessarily, without reading everything through in detail, when to provide input.
Yeah.
It's just a UI thing. It just isn't quite right.
Well, then even here, it looked like it had stopped and then it's picking something up again. So it is definitely confusing. I mean, there's different icons here. Unread, blocked. See if there's anything blocked. I can say that the interface is running a little bit slowly. Oh, here we go. So this says needs decision. Okay. So I can just look at stuff that's blocked. Okay, done. My instructions now require simplified technical English. Guardrail I wrote in. Do all the three agents get this rule? Hell yeah. Yes. Apply to all three. Does the rule apply to client-facing copy to? No, only internal. Okay, submitting.
Yeah, I had some questions like that. I submitted them and then it sat there going, well, can you answer my questions? I'm like, I did.
Yeah.
So I think it still needs some work there. But, you and I were talking earlier about, if you just had an engineer come and take on a function in your business, build out an agent, and you just had an agent operator, instead of 5 team members or whatever to fulfill a function. Maybe it's support, maybe it's accounting, whatever it is. This is kind of exactly what I would envisage that would be like. The engineer would scope out the role and work to get the agents crafted and build out the skills that are needed based on the workflow. And then we'd just be sitting there looking at, what are the inputs, what's blocked, working on exceptions, checking out the blocked items, looking at some of the outputs and then going, I don't like that output. I think this needs to be improved, and continuing to teach it. That is kind of what we think that working loop looks like, right?
This is what it should look like. I think the UI leaves a few things to be desired here. Like when I go to my inbox, it shows me everything that I'm involved in here, which is not really what I want. I just want to see stuff that needs me to action, right? That's all I really want. And
what are those filters though at the top right?
Well, recent. Good question. Let me look at the filter. In progress to do, backlog in review, blocked, like
responsible me. I wonder if that just takes out anything that, yeah.
No, well, that would be stuff I'm actually doing. I mean, maybe like in review, maybe in review is the only stuff see, but this is working away. See, that doesn't need my review right now. Like needs input from the boss is the only thing that I care about. So let me jump to latest here. Yeah, see, I gave feedback on this.
There's a confirmation above it though as well. I come to how this UI looks. It's actually very busy.
Yeah. Disable parent-child nesting. What's this? Columns. Oh no, that's just more information. Workflow. Can I put the latest stuff up the top? I mean, I don't know if this is because I don't know if this is maybe because the box is running out of resources a little bit, but the interface is quite slow. Here we go. Okay. So, all right. Red alert is obviously when something breaks.
Just keep hitting retry.
Yeah. There's an issue with the selected model auto. It might not exist or you might not have access to it. Oh, well, that's not great. Well, yeah, sure. Hit retry. This wake up was deferred because the issue has already been executed by Steve. So Chief of Staff has already taken care of this. So why is this in my inbox?
Well, that's the question. But what I'm observing here is that it'll just keep trying things unless we jump in.
Yeah.
And maybe answer a question or provide it more context or whatever.
Well, this has got a number of questions here.
Yeah. Again, very hard to read.
Questions that were not answered, but then it seems to proceed. And here we go. I've put a 4-question card above. Okay, great. A 4-question card that I have to now scroll back to. Like, what the hell is going on with the interface? I just want like something to pop up. It's just like decision, yes, no, ABC. And just give me the stuff. And you know what I'm thinking, Scott, is I would love to build like a front end interface on this because the back end here looks great. It's just the front end interface I think needs simplification. All I want is literally for it to pop up and say, hey, this is what you need to work on. And I think that's why some people connect this to Hermes or OpenClaw as an agent, so they can just chat to their WhatsApp and it's like, hey, Chief of Staff says this. What do you want? 1, 2, 3. And you just talk to it, give it the 1, 2, 3, and then it's gone again.
Yeah. Well, a bit like when you work with Claude, right? That UI experience where it just says, hey, there's a question here, bang, 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 is exactly what you're looking for. It's very simple. This is like, as you say, like reverse of what that experience is, which is pretty polished. Hey, man, maybe it's because it's still pretty new, right? This thing hasn't been around for long, and
Not
cleaning
long.
up the UI versus getting it to actually work might not be their highest priority.
Yeah. Well, I plan to go and look at YouTube videos of like, what is like, here we go, Paperclip Agent. And let's see what we can find. Hi, live agents. Like, now that's 46 minutes long. I've been looking at my LEDs too long. I'm starting to get like white light everywhere. You know what I want to find is some shorts. Paperclip AI Agents. Here we go.
Someone just open sourced a tool that lets you run an entire company using AI
Yeah,
agents.
man, I'm really
We're
curious
talking
to
a
play
real
with this a
company
lot
structure.
more.
Everyone has a boss, a job, a
and maybe
budget,
start
and
at
they all
first
know what the end
principles,
goal is. You
try
simply
and
write
solve
down
a
what you're trying to
particular
achieve
problem,
and
like
spin up
building
your
out a
team.
finance
You
team or
check
something
in,
like
approve
that,
stuff,
and
and
give me
even
a plan.
overwrite if you want. But otherwise, it just keeps on running towards
I
the
can't
goal.
hear that. Is
And
that
when
meant
the
to be coming
agent
through
hits their
the...
budget, they stop
Not,
automatically. Works
it
with
won't,
OpenClaw and
because
Claude
I've
Code, pretty much
I've only
all the
shared
agent tools
the
out
browser,
there.
not the
Over
individual
20,000
tab.
people start this on GitHub in just 2 weeks. It's free, open source, and it literally takes one command to get started. It's called Paperclip, and if you want the step-by-step
What's
guide
this
on setting it up,
self-hosted
comment
movement,
8.
though? Like, I don't want to self-host a bunch of stuff. I want it accessible in the cloud from anywhere I go. Like, you're not giving me power. You're giving me
Listen here. What
restriction.
if you could run an entire company with just AI agents? That's exactly what Paperclip does.
I wonder if this is just like
AI agents appear
an easier way of scaling up agents, because it's got a nice interface where, if you're in Claude Code or you're in Codex, it's pretty easy to do this. You've just got to know like what command to put in, or what, I need a workflow, I need a sub agent. So the other thing I like about this is, sure, if you need to do like social media posting, you would create an agent that's going to wake up every day and go and do that. So I can see for those kind of tasks, it makes sense. I still don't know what people are actually using it for.
Well, I come back to, if we can figure out how to hook it up to an input, like emails coming in or chats coming in, these shorts.
That's what it should be
lots
doing.
of-
That's what it should be doing. And I guess that's what we're going to try. And maybe that's a V2, get shit done session. Or maybe we tinker that in the background and we share with the audience where we get to with it. I still don't know if I have a customer success specialist. Okay, I have one now.
Get hired it.
Assigned
What is the
task.
instructions on it?
All right.
What are the instructions?
Okay, let's say enable help desk. All right, I'm going to leave with no pressure. All right, I'm going to say, can you tell me if it's going to be easier for you to pull information from help@testgenius.co or our Intercom inbox for working through some test tickets? All right. And if I assume like I'd probably want to make a project for like support, for the support.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what the point of a project is.
Probably a collection of. That's interesting. GitHub repository URL. Ooh. Okay. Now we're getting interesting. So let's open up that GitHub bad boy.
If you're building an application or building something, I can see that would be very, yeah.
Everything to do with delivering support to our customers via our help desk. Because that is going to be able to bring in the context of any of the documentation sitting in GitHub. And we've been talking a little bit about, well, this solving this problem of how do we collaborate on the documentation and the knowledge that we're building with the agents that we're using. And right now it's going into GitHub, which is designed for developers, not for normal humans. And GitHub is not going to be the solution. There are going to be other solutions, and it just takes Claude Code and these other tools to properly connect to Google Drive and start using that as its repository for knowledge for that to really work. But I think there's also going to be other solutions that come out that really become the go-to. The interesting thing is, are Google and Anthropic and OpenAI and Microsoft just going to gobble them up, or just completely rip them off and make their own? But the next 12 months, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see this collaboration thing solved.
Well, that's why I point to Google as being a likely winner, because they've got the whole stack already. They don't have to invent a data layer. They've got that. They don't have to invent a file or a memory layer. They've got that. They can generate their own electricity, turn that electricity into compute, tokenize the compute into intelligence, and then they've got all the layers on top. If I was going to place bets, they might be a little slow sometimes, but if I was placing a bet, I'd say they're going to get there.
Yeah.
Where does Paperclip live, though? Does it just live as this layer that sits on top of these big guys that have produced these tools? When Claude releases its version of a collaboration tool like this, it just opens up co-work to being collaborative. Does that just blow this out of the water?
Yeah. Now this is interesting. Okay, so I don't know where it's getting this information from. I'm not sure exactly where you're getting this information from, and if it's synchronized to any repositories yet, or any of our live company data, or if this is purely stuff that you are creating from this instance.
Hey, while you're doing that, our legal console, it ran into a bunch of errors. Without us doing anything, solved whatever those errors are. It's now crafting a managed services agreement, a statement of work template, and an NDA template. I can see the transcript of the meetings it's had with itself here. This is, wow. It's gone and built them.
You know what I'd love to know is, and maybe, we give this task to the chief of staff, memory import. How can we equip you with the information that you need to align what you're building out with your sub-agents to actual real data from our company? Because we've already got a lot of data and information, and you might be doubling up. And there's a lot of context that you can already get from our respective GitHub repositories, which represent the different areas of the business. And those areas could broadly be mapped to different agents and different agent names. But I'd like to know if it's best for you to go through our MCP or through Google Drive or through our GitHub repositories with my guidance to find the information and start bringing it properly into Paperclip.
While it's thinking about that, I'm looking at the managed services agreement that is drafted. It's stated here that it has aligned it to Australian contract law.
Which weirdly, it picked up our Australian domain, which is not our primary domain. Like, where did it even get that idea to do that? Like, that's. I mean, it's cool, but it's also odd that it picked an Australian domain instead of our primary US domain.
It is saying, hey, this is interesting. I've drafted these 3 templates, each in plain language, with all of the areas for you to fill in. Draft, and my button click to confirm is draft looks good. Take it to a solicitor. Now, unless you're Australian, you probably don't know what a solicitor is. And if you're from the US, your view on what a solicitor is probably not safe for work. They have an idea that you might solicit something. So it knows that I'm Australian, at least. And it says, take it to a solicitor. I wonder what it's going to do.
All right.
And remember, it has built this legal console on your one paragraph or one sentence task that you're actually assigned to me.
Okay, so it's got. All right, we're going to send tickets to help at Test Genius. Have you already created test tickets? Not yet. I will create them. All right, I'm gonna send these test. I'm gonna finally send these test tickets. So, and you can send anything you want to. Help at testgenius.co. Sent. Where are my other ones? Help at testgenius.co. Sent.
I did have one, but I actually closed it down. So hang on, I'm just playing with this legal agent. So
That
you
is no
start.
worries. I have sent them for the record. All right,
It is now building a data protection posture for client workspace admin access.
All right, you know what? After hour 2, I think I might be moving to a yes, this is cool. I need to go get my my glasses because the lights are burning into my eyes. I shall return in 1 second. Okay, I can see the screen again. Great. So,
Man, this thing is it's gone and done a risk analysis and given me my top 3 risks. This is based on a sentence that we gave it. We need legal console. You know, you mentioned a moment ago, like, yeah, how do I point this to all of our company data and have it direct? I actually, I think you want to limit it to like goals and constraints and let it do its thing. You know, I'm with the CEO Institute here in Australia for the viewers at home. And one of the big questions that was asked is, you know, you've got these large companies that have 20, 30, 40, 50 years of data, thousands of team members. How do you rebuild your company in AI? How do you reform a team or reform a business? And my answer, which was kind of like down the nose for a lot of people, was you've got to disrupt yourself. You've actually got to like invest in your own competition and kind of start from scratch, because this thing is not a reformation on what you do today. It's a whole new way of working. And I go back to like, maybe we just give this thing the business plan. We give this thing the customer list. You give this thing some constraints and let it go. to draft its own SOPs, its own connectors and everything else. It seems to have these paperclip skills that can do just about anything, by the way. I enabled a few skills on the CFO agent, and it just seemed to be able to do absolutely anything.
Well, I'm really like surprised that it's devised and decided to make its own Google Workspace health check. And like, again, I don't know, like, I don't know, like it says commit on a branch for feature. I don't know if this is something that it's picked up from my team, or if this is something that's completely written itself. And that is a little bit concerning to me, because it could plausibly be either one of those.
Well, you know what? I'm going to also go back to a discussion we've had a lot about, like, what is the value of a business in the age of AI? What's your moat? If you can prompt an entire business into existence with Paperclip, and after a week of it processing itself, it goes and does all that, anyone can do that.
Yeah, totally.
I seem to have lost my audio. Hang on. Speak for me, Pete. Let me check my audio still.
I'm here, Scott. I'm here.
There we go. New AV equipment still on struggle street. Here we go. Board confirmed. The CEO accepted the draft confirmation. That's our chief of staff, not me, sadly. All 3 contract templates are now approved for solicitor handoff. Each document includes mandatory caveats and jurisdiction assumptions, plain language explainers, internal fill-in and negotiation notes, solicitor review checklist. Next actions: actual owner CEO, book a solicitor session with all 3 documents, confirm the operating entities and ABNs, confirm the state of governing law, and then it's got the 3 priorities for the solicitor. I wonder if I can say draft an email to our solicitor with these templates and directions. I might even, for shits and giggles, give them the email address of our solicitor. Now imagine if there was an agentic law solution out there, and we've worked with like a trademark version, TramTM, who are pretty extraordinary. Shout out to those guys. I don't even need to speak to a human here. I could just direct it to a solicitor agent online and say, go and verify the documents there.
Yeah. Or it could, research directories and go and find people.
Yeah.
So I can see this starting to come alive in that it's taking knowledge, it's taking information from the different agents, and it's starting to kind of run those things off each other. And it's thinking reasonably autonomously too. Like, it's coming up with ideas of stuff to do. It's going and executing and doing those ideas. It's definitely a token burner, like crazy. But if it's directed in the right way, then cool. Okay, yep, I can totally see where this is going. It does say, okay, there's a number of different skills here. I guess these are overall skills.
Well, I would argue that I have hired a legal expert and produced 3 documents in the last 30 minutes based on a single sentence. In terms of my hourly rate, the work of a legal consultant to draft those documents, I've probably just burned a couple of $1,000. And I doubt I've used that much in tokens.
Yeah.
Is it creating skills as we're going here, or are they...
Theoretically, it should be. As it learns, theoretically, it should be creating and saving skills.
Yeah, okay.
Well, this is interesting. Reflection coach. So this is the skill of the reflection coach. Let's open this one up. It is running quite slow. I wonder if that box is running out of resources a little bit.
I've drafted my solicitor ready email for... I cannot send the email. This is a draft for your review before sending, reassigning to you. So I should see in my inbox here that I've been assigned a task. Oh, she's running pretty slow.
Well, this is certainly interesting. So this is like the reflection agent is a review agent. So it reflects on another agent's recent execution record, propose the smallest durable instruction, skill, or tool description change used for evidence-backed coaching proposals, never hot swaps. So this will basically do coaching of each of the agents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this is the this is the self-fixing bit. And so, yeah, for each agent, you can switch on and switch off skills. This agent is currently paused. Let's resume the reflection coach. Let's turn it on, see what happens. I assume, like once a day or once every couple of hours or invoked by the, the chief of staff, it would say, hey, go and have a look at the agents. And, see if any of them need a little bit of help.
Mm-hmm. I'm also thinking, what's the absolute cleanest way to get started with this product so that its agents can do things? Now, you've got a really well thought out, sophisticated Claude Code environment that already has connectors to a bunch of stuff. If I was going to start completely fresh, I would probably fire up Claude Code with all my Anthropic permission subscriptions. I would connect it to the MCP servers that I need, to all the tools, but I wouldn't necessarily need to go create any skills or any agents. I would just simply build out those connectors and then point this to my Claude Code instance, I think. Does that make sense?
You might have to re-explain that because I was reading something while you were talking.
Sorry. And it's so verbose, it's so hard to do all the reading.
I know. Just give me the technical language, Scott. Give me the summary.
Give me simplified technical language. I think of what is the minimum someone needs to set up to get value here? Well, they probably need Claude Code with their Anthropic subscriptions. They need to connect their Claude Code to all of the tools that they have, MCP servers, whether it's Google or Xero or whatever. But I don't actually think you'd need to build out an agent or build out any skills or anything like that. I think as long as your Claude Code instance has those connectors kind of running and can be invoked, that would probably be enough to then just hook this thing up and off it goes.
Yeah. I'm this has literally looked all the way through the GitHub project and found all of the agents that I've already configured and all of the repositories, and it's saying, hey, do you want me to just match everything that you've already got in GitHub?
Oh.
Yeah. ' Yeah, pretty cool. May I request credentials so sub-agents reach mcp.itgenius.com?
Man, that's very smart.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say it's very smart, I suppose it's ultimately just using an anthropic model that you've got hooked up, and that's what's the smarts is. Paperclip isn't smart.
Yeah. Paperclip's just given it a really good set of instructions of like how to operate, what the guardrails are, who you are, how you coordinate. And look, it's burning tokens in the background. It's like flying through tokens. So far,
In a way, this is the master orchestrator. And I suppose that's what that chief of staff is, right? And it's got some basic skills, the paperclip skills that enable it to do all these things. So what they've built is just a harness for actually getting work done.
yeah.
I know we sort of said that at the start, but I do see that this realizes exactly what they were talking about.
And I like the idea of updating the agent names so they use the actual name that we've given to each agent, the human name, but they also include the actual department that they represent, so we don't have to remember what the names mean. All right, so enabling help desk. Here we go. Okay, before the test rounds. Gmail connector was absent for 2 of the last 3 runs. How do you want to sequence?
Open a PR for it. What does that mean?
So that's a pull request in GitHub speak. So it basically means that it creates it's a branch, but it's basically a named version. Let's call it that. You could just hit save and it saves it to the main documents file, or you can do like a named revision, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm working on this particular named revision on the side. All right.
So it just said it built a Gmail connector. Where? What is it running on?
I suspect this. Well, I don't know. That's
I kind of what I was inferring earlier. Is it building it on your?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's all running out of a GCP box that has my credentials connected to it, but it also has access to the GitHub repository of each of the agents that I've already configured, and they have different types of access. Oh, there we go.
GitHub doesn't execute.
It's renamed this agent support. See all agents. I wonder if it's put all our other agents in there with different names as well. Let's see what happens here. Okay, yeah, the CPU is a little flogged out here.
think my legal console has stopped now because it needs me to send an email. Oh, the whole thing just crashed.
Well, it is working for me here. So it's renamed. There we go. It started renaming all the projects here. Now, interestingly, here on the agent screen, Scott, it actually says what model they use. So it says that legal counsel uses Claude Sonnet 4.6 and Engage retention and churn is Haiku 4.5. And then we have Reflection Coach is using the Gemini CLI. Interesting.
So it's made decisions on what model to use. Well, that's fascinating.
Yeah, as it should. It should be efficient with the models that it's using. Chief of Staff deleted this comment. Now, that's interesting. Oh boy, that is disconcerting.
My CFO has read through the model. It's having a few problems with the Gmail, the Google Sheets connector. But it's listed out a whole lot of items it wants to escalate that either don't make sense or that it thinks are inconsistent.
Oh boy, Scott, this support agent has started searching through our help desk through the MCP that I gave it access to, and it has searched for the top customer issues and ranked them from Intercom. And it's creating articles and knowledge-based help desk guides to handle them.
Man, I just want to give this thing our business. Start fresh. Just give it our business plan, and then just come back.
Oh no, I already have. No, I already gave it the business plan because that was in the board repository that had been synchronized there previously. So it's got the company strategy in there. So you could ask the chief of staff. Well, how about we do that? Strategy update. Okay. Based on the strategic documents that you have access to in the board project or the board agent project in GitHub, are there any updates to the strategy and the build out that you suggest here? Let me put that in onboarding, and that's going to go to chief of staff. Wow, this is getting kind of addictive, actually.
It reminds me a little bit of when I sort of first got into Claude Code, and you get addicted to vibe coding or building something. But we're building out an organization here.
Yeah.
My anxiety level, though, of the amount of things that are going on that I don't understand, don't quite get how it could be doing.
Is it going to start emailing customers?
Yeah, I'm a little bit in a state of overwhelm, B, in a state of like disbelief. So, okay.
Okay, so I asked it like, hey, where are you getting your information from to build out the support agent? And got it from public information, our live Intercom help guide. It has not pulled from anything Interesting. Well,
oh, it's renamed my CFO Sage. I was just looking at talking to Sage. I'm like, who?
I created 12 issues. Okay. So this this really seems to like spawn and respawn its own tasks. Like this turns into this like living, breathing thing. I'm just imagining these tentacles kind of like expanding out.
If we go back to what was the promise, this thing is the company and the agency, your workers, and your chief of staff is genuinely, this is probably the first example of a genuinely autonomous agent that I have seen that is going and doing work.
Yeah.
That is really exciting. Speaking of work, I probably should do some today. Otherwise, I'm not going to.
Well, I want to see if this can actually respond to my tickets. So,
tell you what, man, I this really is like my vision for work. I am really, really close to just turning off absolutely everything else and just doing this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, let's say for now we're just going to be working in the testing environment, replying an email, and we won't touch intercom as an interface yet. So in review seems to be the status. That seems to be the status to track. So if I filter for in review, here we go. Google Workspace provisioning automation. So again, don't know exactly where it decided to do that. Let's pause this for now. We don't need to take this up right now. Go back to my inbox. Has it kept my filter? Okay, kept my filter. That's nice. I'm going to archive that. Oh, no, that was the one I wanted to archive. Workspace health check audit tool.
The engineer in me wants to like just boil this right down to first principles, get a super clean Claude Code account, just set up those connectors, clear out all of the history and start from the absolute beginning and see this thing craft an organization. I think then I would understand it and be not losing my mind at the chaos that I see on the screen right now.
Yeah, well, I can give you the app on a clean box, or actually, I can create a fresh org for you. But the thing is, now this is still running on my box, so it's still going to have access to that. So yeah, you would want to go completely fresh. They did seem to have hosting options on the way on the Paperclip website. They don't look like they're quite in production just yet.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Sadly, it doesn't work with anti-gravity yet, so I can't use my own box. And I dare say my poor little Chrome box is not going to tolerate that kind of processing very well.
No, but this is the kind of thing that has to run persistently anyway. So you set it up on your server. Well, we're at the 2-hour mark. This has been enlightening. I don't think it's responded yet to my support tickets. It's still thinking about it. It says the latest traffic is from August 2025. Oh, it's possible. Did we get like a bounce back or something on those emails? I'm sure I sent those emails. Yeah. Yeah, well, they definitely got sent. So for whatever reason, it hasn't found those emails. I'm going to interrupt its thinking. I mean, that's the one thing I want. I just want it to read and respond to a couple of emails, which, I mean, it's Claude, so it's going to be able to do that. But what this should be doing in the future is like waking up and responding to them, or waking up and giving its planned responses for a human to check off. Yeah.
If you think about a team member being an agent operator, and a whole business like ours would need maybe 5 agent operators in their different domains, and they're just waiting to clear the exceptions where it needs human in the loop.
Yeah.
Eventually you might decide, like Albert does for us, our AI, that you don't need a human in the loop to respond to support tickets once you're happy with it. And then off it goes. You move to the next function.
Yeah.
You know what I want to do, Pete? I want to start like just a new IT support business, just fresh domain, and just build it here from scratch. You know what I struggle with? I struggle when I've got like history and like all the existing assumptions, existing data and things. I just want to like start clean and rebuild, because I naturally love to create stuff and build things, engineer from scratch. I think that's where my hang up is now.
Got it. Well, that's one way of doing it. But you could also just be the skunk works of IT Genius and be building that out yourself.
And then just one day go, all right, everyone, flick the switch.
Why can't I log into my Workspace account, boss? All right. Let's find.
Yeah, well, as you say, we're at the 2-hour mark. I think we have moved from to very compelling. And I wouldn't say that what we've done needed a highly engineering mindset. I think this is actually in the realm of anybody if they can get a Claude Code environment set up, and maybe that's a good segue into Builders Academy. With IT Genius, we're helping small business owners through a 6-week course, join a cohort to go and learn the ropes of Claude Code and get your own little environment established really, really quickly with your peers. So you're surrounded with other people just like you who are on the journey learning all about AI agents and Claude Code. And all you need to do is go, whether it's yourself or you go and send your operations manager on leave it to us to get them skilled up, build out the environment. And then perhaps if you've been inspired by this session, go and stick Paperclip over the top of it and go and build out your own fully agentic organization at a single prompt.
Head along to itgenius.com if you want to check that out. Click on to Builders Academy up the top and you can still join. We have started the program, but you can still join and get access to all of the sessions. The first few sessions have been recorded and they get you access to what you've missed. You can catch up pretty quickly and then join us for our live sessions as we continue over the next 4 weeks. Well, Scott, I'm still waiting for my agent. You know, I said here, hey, I don't know who commissioned this, but I don't want it to happen. And then it continues to build things.
It's too autonomous.
It's a little bit, it's
Again,
quite autonomous.
Reminds me of a few team members who either do things, either have too much initiative or too little.
Yeah.
But, you know, like all things, context is king, and having an understanding of why it's doing things and what context it's being drawn off. The engineer in me wants to pull this apart and just start real simple, just to figure that out before we throw the whole business at it.
Well, it's attempting to work through the agent, but the test email account, it's not accessing Gmail directly, so that's why it's trying to look into Intercom basically. So make the Gmail connector present in the run. And I wonder if that has like assigned that to me. No, still Albert. I mean, it is trying to do its thing. Chief of Staff, it seems, is really pushing it along to try and get there. I'm going to pursue this instance and see where we can get to with it. Wow, here we go, Scott. So it did bring in the company, the ITG business model. That came from, it's a slightly outdated document now, but an older document from a couple of years ago. It's brought in, there we go, like finances, blah, 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 business strategy. And then it's now building out the agents based on that. That's interesting. So it says MCP already wired. So yeah, so it's already got read-only intercom. It's got all the billing information there, which is pretty cool. Approve the 4-gap area control agents. Attract, excite, empower projects. Each mirrors one production agent. Reports to Chief of Staff, starts idle, read-only against company data.
This is my expectation, is that we can give it this plan and it goes and creates the org chart off the plan. And then maybe we direct it to some SOPs of the existing team members for support, which have knowledge base articles and things like that, just to build out its skills.
Well,
but again,
this is our production instance, Scott. It's a bit messy, but let's work with this, because this is going to have the best chance of actually connecting to things, and we can work out the connection to apps and permissions and whatnot anyway. But very interesting,
very compelling,
very interesting so far. I'm curious, like, is it just gonna, because it's got 11 things that it's running at the moment, like, is it gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger and just keep pinging off itself, or is it eventually gonna, like, you know, wind down and quieten down on things. I'm looking at my
Yeah. Well, it's generating its own inputs at the moment. So it just keeps on going.
Yeah, well, I'm curious if it'll actually get to the bottom of things eventually, which would be nice. But there you go. I think it's time to leave things. We actually have a call with some of our team. So thanks so much for watching. We did not get this done. We got a very promising close, a very interesting application. If you're a Paperclip expert, hey, shout out in the comments. Join a live stream with us next time. Teach us. Come and jump on live. And if you're interested in this, head along to itgenius.com. And we'll catch you soon. Cheers all. Thanks, Scott. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you guys.